So, ranking Doctor Who Season 3, and unfortunately, a lot of Season 3 is missing. Big, massive deal of a lot. The stories that are actually missing from this season is literally Galaxy 4, Mission to the Unknown, The Mythmakers, Daleks, Master Plan, The Massacre, Celestial Toy Maker, and The Savages. But some of these stories I've got on book, and the rest I've got on CD, and I've put DVD covers in, so from what I've read and listened to, I'm going to be ranking them for this season. But the only story I've not actually got for this kind of lot, I haven't got The Mythmakers or Galaxy 4. So I can't... Well, I've got... The only copy I've got of The Mythmakers is on book. Galaxy 4, I've got nothing of Galaxy 4. And it's such a shame. Mission to the Unknown, I've actually watched the YouTube... the BBC Doctor Who kind of did a reconstruction of the actual episode with using a university in Lancaster, I think, and that is brilliant. That one is brilliant. I will mention that one, but unfortunately the actual original Planet Mission to the Unknown is still is missing, so I can't really... I will add the reconstruction, but I can't really rank the proper one. So the ones I'm going to be ranking are on audio, and there are only two. Yeah, literally are like 3 DVDs that is in this season that still exists, and I will be ranking them as well. So here it is, ranking Doctor Who Season 3. So the very first story in this season is Galaxy 4, and unfortunately it is missing, and I haven't even managed to find the target novel book of Galaxy 4. I've tried eBay, I've looked for it, nothing. I've gone through all the target novel books on eBay, nothing for Galaxy 4. And it's such a shame. It really is. I would really like to read Galaxy 4. It's supposed to be a good Hartnell story. Fingers crossed it does get animation soon, and I'll be really happy if it does. So, and also adding into this video, I'm going to do a quick mention of Mission to the Unknown. And again, that is still a missing story from 1965. But what can I actually say about the reconstruction they did in Lancaster on the YouTube Doctor Who channel is really, really good. They've done it. I think they've got it spot on. Everything that was actually seen on screen, you can actually rewatch it now on the BBC website. And to be honest, I've actually watched it 25 times since last year. It is just such a good story, and I give that reconstruction and a big applause to the people at the university that made it a 10 out of 10 for ranking. It's literally a good story. The Daleks are in it. It's brilliant and it's amazing. And what more can I say for them? It's literally 10 out of 10 for that story. And another little one for this into this video before I put this on pause and talk about the ones I've got on the CDs and DVDs is The Mythmakers. And my God, this is a good story. This is Vicky's last ever Doctor Who story, traveling with the First Doctor. They do get, and at the end of this story, they do get another companion called Katrina, who unfortunately is in the next story, and she has an uncertain death. But it is actually quite a good one. I love this story. The Mythmakers, you got the Greeks, you got the Taurus. This is another historic episode, a very another historic one, and it is again a brilliant. And I rank this book 10 out of 10. Because it gives you the imagination. It builds up a lot that the episode should have built up for you. So, The Mythmakers, 10 out of 10 on book. So, coming up to the next story. I actually can't wait for this one. Next up, it is the Daleks Master Plan. And this is on CD. And this story's broadcast from the 13th of November to the 29th of January, 1965-1966. And my God, it is just an epic. It's really good. You can sit down for about... To be honest, I sat down for 4 hours listening to this actual story, and my God, it is absolutely brilliant and amazing. The Daleks are fantastic. The villain, which is this guy here, I can't remember his name, is fantastic. Hartnell ends up saying goodbye to Katrina and Sarah Kingdom, as the two companions do end up dying in this story. This story is also Nicholas Courtney's very first appearance in Doctor Who, as he's playing a kind of different character to the Brigadier, and it's still a good one. The Daleks are proper menacing in this story. I do hope this story does get animated soon. It's just so brilliant to sit down for 4 hours, listen to all 12 amazing parts. So for the ranking for this story, I have to say it's 10 out of 10. A brilliant Dalek story, a brilliant Dalek story. I do prefer this one to The Chase, but again, I can actually sit down and watch The Chase where I have to sit down and listen to this story. I would actually like for this story to become animated at some point for this story. I know it's going to be a massive pain in the ass for them to animate, as it is 12 parts long, but I would actually like to see them animate this story. It is just such another fantastic Doctor Who story. I really would like to see this one get the animation treatment. So Daleks Master Plan, 10 out of 10, bang on, best Dalek story. And of course, if you don't know this is actually the last ever William Hartnell story that he fights against the Daleks. It's his last ever one out. He has 4 stories with the Daleks. This is the longest one he actually ever did, and my god, it's just so brilliant and epic. And I would like to watch this either in animate, like them to animate this story, because it's literally, from what you hear from it, is truly amazing, and it builds up the imagination what you really should be seeing from the actual episode. So yeah, Daleks Master Plan, 10 out of 10, bang on. So the next story in the season is the Massacre, and this was actually broadcast from the, if I just quickly show you, so I can, from the 5th of February to the 26th of February 1966. And from what I listened to, this is actually a good story. This is the Doctor and Stephen continuing their adventures after the events of the Daleks Master Plan. It's a brilliant story. They're back in Paris. The Doctor decides to visit what's his name? Charles Physicson. It's a good story, actually. It's a really good story. I have to say, this one, it's a good story. It's good to listen to. It's only 4 parts long, but again, this is the one that I really want to see animated, so I can sit down and watch it. But for me to listen to it on audio, it is another good way to enjoy these missing episodes. But for this story, is literally a 5 out of 10. It's not the best historian story I've actually watched or listened to. So the Massacre, 5 out of 10. So the next story in this season is The Ark, and this was broadcast from the 5th of March to the 26th of March 1966. And I've kind of got a feeling that this story is set around about the same time period as the Series 5 story, The Beast Below, from 2010. This spaceship is carrying the last survivors of the human race since Earth was destroyed by the sun blowing up, as you see in, I think, yeah, in The End of the World. And, of course, these aliens here, which you see with the one eye, are literally slaves at one point of the story. Then the Doctor leaves, goes back to the future, and they end up becoming victorious and enslaves all the humans. But this story is really good and fantastic. This is Dodo's first trip out. I mean, she did join in the last story, The Massacre, which really I should have mentioned. But this story is a little bit more better than The Massacre. So this story is literally a 6 out of 10. It's an enjoyable story, but not one of the best ones for Hartnell. I mean, considering after you had the epic 12 part of the Daleks Master Plan, I really think the budget must have been going for the story. I've only watched the story quite a few times, really. It's really good, I think. It's good, 6 out of 10. I don't enjoy it as much as the end story of this season, really, kind of, which we'll be getting up to mention next. So, anyway, going on to the next story, which is, as you'll all find out soon. And the next story is the Celestial Toy Maker, and this story is broadcast from the from the 2nd of April to the 23rd of April 1966, and it's a good one. Only episode 4 exists, and I actually got it in the Lost in Time box set. In this box set, episode 4 is, but this one has got the audio soundtrack for episodes 1 to 4. Mainly, I do listen to this one for episodes 1 to 3, and then I skip straight into the 4th one, and it is brilliant. The Celestial Toy Maker is a fantastic one, and for a little reference, and I'm going to come off a bit of topic here, the Celestial Toy Maker was actually going to return in the original season 23 story, where the 6th Doctor and Perry in Blackpool, but that story was actually scrapped off because of the 18-month suspension that Michael Grading put Doctor Who on from in 1985. So the Sister Toymaker hasn't actually made a return in the show, but I think he should. He's actually an interesting villain in the story. And of course, you got Stephen and Dodo playing hopscotch, while the Doctor is kind of in a Demelo Paleo. Wow, he goes like kind of like invisible sort of thing. And the Sister Toymaker is making them play the game to try and get to the TARDIS. And it is an amazing story. This one is literally 10 out of 10. It is a good one to sit down, listen to, and then skip straight to part 4. Really, I've had this since 2005, the Lost in Time box set, and I really didn't understand the Sister Toymaker because it was only part 4. But buying the CDs and then printing off the cover, part 4, you listen to 1 to 3 and then skip to part 4. Is truly amazing. This story deserves to be animation. It turned into animation. It really does. So, Sister Toymaker, 10 out of 10. The next story is The Gunfighter, and this was broadcast from the 20th of April to the 31st of May, 1966. And this story is really boring for me. They go to the West Indian, well, they're going to the kind of cowboy era because the Doctor needs a dentist to have a tooth pulled out. This one is really boring. This one's kind of like a bit of a musical Doctor Who story. It's not really good. It's not really entertaining. This one is a downer for the Hartnell stories. To be honest, I enjoy all Hartnell. This is the only one I don't actually watch. I watched just about once and then I haven't watched it again because it's literally a really, really boring one for me. But it's still in the Hartnell era. It's still in season 3. It's not the best one, but it's... So literally this story for me, all 4 parts in this is literally a 4 out of 10 really. And I'm sorry to say this for Hartnell. Hartnell is a good Doctor. He's not in my top 5 Doctors, but he's still a good Doctor. He is the original Doctor, you might say. But this story really, really does kind of let it down a bit, I think. And I haven't actually watched this story at all. It's not since I actually brought it. So 4 out of 10. The Gunfighter. So again, on the CD range, we have got The Savages, and this story is broadcast from the 28th of May to the 21st of June 1966. And this one again, it's Steve. Well, basically, this is Stephen's last ever story with the First Doctor. There's not really much I can actually say about this story because it's not really another good one, but they are on an alien planet in the story. I would appreciate this if it was animated a bit more, but listen to it. It doesn't sound really entertaining and it doesn't get me like sucked into the actual story. It's not really a good one. Stephen's Depart is quite good and it leaves the Doctor and Dodo, but as I said, season 3 is the one where the Doctor literally loses some of the companions because you have the Mythmakers where he loses Vicky. Then you've got the Daleks Master Plan where he loses Katrina and Sarah Kingdom. This story he loses Stephen Taylor, and then the next story he loses 1 companion and then he gains another 2, and they stay for a lot longer. But for me, I have to say, The Savages is literally a 2 out of 10 from what I've listened to. And I love Classic Who, and for me to say this one, it's just... I can't sit down and listen to the audio. I literally skip to part 4 where I just hear Stephen say he's leaving the Doctor. That's all I literally listen to. So The Savages, 2 out of 10. Last of all, we have got The War Machines. And this story is a 10 out of 10. This was actually broadcast from the... If I just quickly show you, from the 25th of June to the 16th of July 1966. This is Dodo's last ever story. So for me to listen to Dodo from the Massacre to this story, she doesn't last very long for a Doctor's companion, really. The War Machines is a brilliant story. This is another 10 out of 10 story. This is the first time you see like a war machine. You see the Doctor not to be dominated. You see the War Machine and the Doctor's walking up to it like he's not scared of it. He's just, you know, he's like, this is the first time the Doctor comes into his own, I kind of feel, where he shows that he won't be dominated, he won't be feared, he won't be scared. It's just another good Hartnell story, and Hartnell does this one to the teeth. Dodo leaves at the end of part 3, and then at the end of part 6, it's literally The doctor's like waiting for her, and then Ben and Polly says, oh, she's not coming, she wants to stay in London, but she says thank you for the adventures. And then, of course, you have Ben and Polly joining the Doctor's TARDIS team in this story. And now, this story is literally a 10 out of 10. I love the War Machine. I love that computer that goes, Doctor, who is required? It's another good Hartnell story. This is a brilliant one. Season 3 is not really the best one for Hartnell, really, because that for the best one for Hartnell has got to be season 2. But this season is an advantage because of the Daleks Master Plan and the War Machines. I do love it. I do love the War Machines. It's literally a 10 out of 10 story with another one as well, which I think was the Little Toy Maker and the Daleks Master Plan. So those are the 3 stories that are literally 10 out of 10. And Mission to the Unknown, the Universal, well, the one they filmed at Lancaster. So to show you off my season 10 collection on DVD so far, this is it. So I've got the Daleks Master Plan, that's CD in a DVD case with a DVD cover. The Massacre CD DVD cover and into a DVD case. The Ark, the Toy Maker is CD again with a DVD cover. The Gunfighters, which is literally a 2 out of 10. The Savages, again 2 out of 10. And well, I think the Gunfighters I said about 4 out of 10, but it's actually gone down to a 2 out of 10 thinking about it. But this story is this season is not really the best for Hartnell, really, but you can tell in this season he's starting to become very ill at this point because he has an illness, and I think this is where he starts to struggle with the illness, which is why in season 4 he only stays for 2 stories and then he regenerates, and then it goes straight to Patrick Troughton. But this is the season you can actually see him becoming really, really, really ill. And I think the Special Toy Maker, because he's not really in the Special Toy Maker as often, but I think that's where he starts to become diagnosed with his illness. And he comes very, very ill in this 3rd season of the show. And it's why he leaves in 2 stories of season 4, which is his last 2. But this season is very advantage. It's not his best one. The only 3 good stories in this, as I say, is the Daleks Master Plan, the Special Toy Maker, and the War Machines. So that's the 3 best. The other ones are kind of on a vertige and stuff. I am trying to get hold of the Myth Makers on CD, and then I can just slot it into the DVD cases like that. Same with the Gunfighters and Mission to the Unknown. I think I've got Mission to the Unknown in this CD form as well. Yeah, I actually do think it. But this story is actually quite a good one. This season is good. The Daleks Master Plan is my favourite story of the season, followed by the War Machines, then followed by the Special Toy Maker, and then so on and so on for the rest. But this season is actually quite a good one. So, not as really good and big as season 2 was, but it's still a very, very good Hartnell season, and it's still a good one. I literally, if they ever animate the Special Toy Maker and the Daleks Master Plan, those 2 and the War Machines, I will just rewatch over and over and over again. So thank you for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe and share to my channel. I hope you all have a brilliant day. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for season 4, which is Hartnell's last ever season with 2 stories, and the rest are all Patrick Troughton's, and they are brilliant. I have actually watched and listened and read about. There are very, very good Doctor Who stories. So thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe and share, and have a good day.